Good morning. It is August
Mm-hmm.
2nd, 2017. This is the Bitter Knitters podcast. I'm Jacqueline, and I'm joined by Arthur.
Hello, hello.
How you doing this morning, Arthur?
I've been better.
Your answer's always,
Yeah, well, I should be fucking sleeping, but, is what it is.
Yeah, sleep's overrated some days, right?
I was up late last night watching, videos on the Marianas Trench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like mysteries of it, or...
No, I just want to see if we actually have any, actual photos and stuff like that. I've been trying to find that James Cameron Challenger Deep thing, but I can't seem to find it on the internet, so I might have to buy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
it's not even free on YouTube or something?
No, I can't find it. And it all started because this one video I seen of these Japanese explorers or whatever. It was in the Marianas Trench. I know it wasn't Challenger Deep, but it was just this cage. I think the cage was about 2 meters by 2 meters, and they had some, fish or a pig or whatever on top of it. And then all of a sudden, this fucking giant shark comes out of nowhere that we have no idea what it is. So it just kind of sparked my interest, going, what the fuck's down there? Yeah, they're saying the shark had to be between 40 and 50 foot long.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the ocean, right? We explored just a microscopic amount of it, and who knows what's down there? I mean, I know people are clinging to hopes that there's some sort of, dinosaur relative down there still, and maybe there is. Who knows?
Well, we know there is. I talked about it on the one show, the coelacanth.
Yes, that's
fish
right.
that we thought went extinct 1.52 million years ago, and it's still alive and kicking.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it was just, I don't know, it's kind of piqued my interest in the last little bit.
The thing about, I don't know, were you on YouTube? You said you were looking at videos? Oh my gosh, once you get there and you see these videos on the side, it's literally, I hate to use the word rabbit hole, but it really is. Keep going and going.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're like, oh my God, it's 3:30 in the morning. I've got to get up.
It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm watching Pilates workout videos. And how the fuck did I get on this shit?
I watched a 9-hour documentary, not all in one sitting, but basically in 2 days, on the evolution of the English language. And it was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It talked about how they brought in words from, you had the base Germanic language of English, but how they brought in words from Arabic and French and all these different places, and even it brought it all the way to America and how the Americans have changed the language.
Well, it's you can't even call it the Americans speak English anymore.
No, it's definitely American. One little quick thing before we move on. We're not going to really talk about it, but just an update. Charlie Gard did die last Friday. He was removed from life support in a hospice. He's with his family, and I believe he's being buried maybe on Friday. That is would have been his 1-year birthday. So that situation's done. I'm sure we'll have more and more of those coming up. But rest in peace, Charlie.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk the eclipse first, or?
Yeah, sure. I honestly didn't even know an eclipse was happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
So it's happening on August 21st. It's going to be, if you're in the path of the totality, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's going from Oregon all across the middle of America to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I have a friend, an internet friend. I know his name is TJ. I don't know if he's still there. He went to college in Carbondale, Illinois, and that's going to be the best place to see it. It's going to last for over 2 minutes.
Right on.
So I'm sure there'll be tons of tourists all along this, this path, and it's going to be amazing. Where we are in Canada, we'll see some, obviously not. I think we're going to be at about 70% seeing it, which is not bad. Don't look directly at it, people. You will possibly cause damage to your eyes.
So it is one of those eclipses.
Yeah, you need to have the pinhole or the special glasses to look at it. I was reading Edmonton will not see it at all, which is kind of sad because they're too far north.
It suits them right.
I know you hate Albertans. But I mean, it's going to be, I'll be on the road. I'll be driving, if everything goes as planned on my vacation, I'll be in America, but not in the path of totality. So I won't get to see it with my own eyes there. But yeah, maybe we'll stop and, I don't know, I won't be able to look at it, so what's the point?
The only thing I seen about it was some stupid meme saying that it's going to go over a path of nothing but Trump supporters, which I thought was
pretty accurate.
I thought it was kind of funny. You know, there's
Maybe
definitely
they'll
some
all look
symbolism.
up.
Yeah,
Get
fucking
blinded.
blind themselves.
I remember when I was a kid, the big one happened in like 1978 or 79 when I was a kid. And I mean, in school and on TV, and your family was telling you, don't look at the sun.
Yeah.
And I literally thought that if I looked up, like my eyes would burn out of my head. I was so afraid. So on the day of that, they kept us inside at recess and lunch too that day. And but I remember even like when I was taking the school bus, I like refused to look even at the outside. I was so afraid that I would end up blind because I was only 6 or 7 at the time. So
I can remember kind of feeling the same way the first time I had a solar eclipse happen when I was a kid, like just being so terrified of going blind.
Yeah. But I mean, it'd be interesting to really kind of go and have the right, telescope with the right lenses to protect your eyes and just kind of watch the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll do it. 2024, I think, is the next big one. So maybe.
I think it'd be better to do it in like, an infrared camera or something like that. So you actually, you don't just see the light, you can actually see the moon passing in front of the path.
Yeah, that's true.
Something like that would be interesting. Or even to be on like the ISS and watch it happen if you could.
Oh my gosh, right? Yeah, I wonder what that would be like out there.
I think anything, just seeing anything from fucking the view of space would be pretty.
Oh my gosh,
savage.
As much as I love space, and I think it'd be so cool, I'm terrified of space at the same time. It's like a love fear.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, can you imagine looking down at the Earth from space? Like, just oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see. The fact that it's flat.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, send all the flat earthers up there.
Yeah.
It'll be all some hologram that we made up.
It's some hologram.
I don't know. I was looking at an article and somebody was talking about flat Earth, and in the comments there was a picture of like the Earth as a disc, right?
Yeah.
And a meteor comes and hits it, and all the dinosaurs fly off of it because that's where the dinosaurs went. I thought that was kind of funny. The Earth is not flat, people. It's not a conspiracy. Okay, the Earth is round.
But don't you know that fucking NASA is like a 30,000-year-old organization that's trying to pull the wool over our eyes for some apparent fucking reason?
If the Earth is flat, why does the water stay on the Earth?
Because of the fucking ice that surrounds us, that keeps us in, the ice wall. And the big glass firm. Oh, you don't know the whole.
I don't really study flat Earth stuff because it's just so.
Oh, I sometimes
insane.
I like to go on the flat Earth Reddit and just laugh myself to fucking sleep. These people are messed up.
Yeah. There's definitely something.
Who is it?
Eric from work is a flat earther now. Apparently, someone told me.
Oh, well, that guy's an idiot. Hopefully, he doesn't breed. There was a story last year somewhere just east of us where like a flat Earth argument turned out to be like somebody got stabbed or some shit over it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, they actually got violent.
Yeah, like real violent over if the fucking Earth is flat. Like, come on, people. Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite fucking conspiracy theories because it all relies on God. First off, like it all stems from how it was described in the Bible, and then it's just idiots, like no concrete proof. And I've said that and I've been saying this for a while now. I need proof. If you can give me proof of anything, I will believe it. But it's all fucking YouTube opinions. Right? Yeah. I'm not gonna fucking listen to someone's YouTube opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can go on YouTube right now and make a fucking opinion piece about pretty much anything, and all I have to do is talk in a fairly convincing enough voice, show some pseudo fucking science, and I'll have thousands of fucking flat earthers around the globe believing me.
Idiot. We're all living on the head of a pin.
Yeah.
On our flat Earth.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about other idiots.
Yay.
Okay, so we've talked about people that, the guy, I can't remember his name now, the guy that went to North Korea and ended up dying. Because
Warmbier.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. And it's always sad when somebody dies, even if he did something stupid. So in Nova Scotia, 2 stories came out kind of last night. I saw them and I was like, wow, Nova Scotia is really kind of going for it. The first was there's a guy who likes to do a lot of stunts. He jumps off bridges in Nova Scotia quite often, and he films himself and puts them on YouTube. So he jumped off Cape Breton Seal Island Bridge. It's a 90-foot bridge. He jumped off backwards and then did a flip in the air. Luckily, he lived. He jumped off the bottom of the bridge, not the top. So I guess that's why he's technically not breaking the law, which doesn't make any sense to me. But, the police are warning him, please don't do it because, the worst could happen is you're going to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also you put the responders in danger by having to go and rescue him.
Yep.
And the other thing is just, this is crazy to me because I went, when I was down east 2 years ago, we went through the mine tour in Glace Bay. And now people are opening up the mines, the abandoned mines, and exploring them. And these are very unstable things.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at just tiny little holes with rocks falling all around them. That's incredibly dangerous and stupid.
Absolutely.
I don't
know. It's not like a new thing. People have been doing stupid fucking shit like this forever. But yeah.
But now they're doing it for YouTube hits, right?
Well, and that's the worst part is like social media, YouTube, Instagram has really beefed up people's want to do shit that's crazy so they can get those views. I mean, you look at the people that are climbing up like to the top of cranes or fucking buildings so they can take a selfie or some bullshit, like.
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to feel bad when they fall to their fucking death. And it's like, well, no, I feel bad for the people that are inconvenienced on their way to work, having to fucking walk around your fucking, essentially jelly lying on the fucking sidewalk.
Or your family that has to,
right?
Now grieve your
live with the embarrassment of knowing that your fucking child died being a goddamn moron.
You had relatives that died in the mines, right?
I believe so.
Ancestors? Yeah, I think
the only one I know of that did the mining was my great uncle Ben, and he didn't die in the mines. He was actually the guy that went in and saved people from the collapsed mines. I'm sure that if my father is hearing this podcast, I'll get a rundown when I'm home tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you will. My husband's grandfather was one of the foreman, managers, whatever you would call them. He ran one of the mines in Glace Bay. Luckily, he didn't die there. He got lung cancer and died from that. So I don't know what's better. But they're saying there's an estimated 8,000 abandoned mines in that province alone.
That doesn't surprise me. Coal mining was their bread and butter, right? Like, I can remember hearing stories of some of the old timers when I was a kid where they were talking about, like, as they were children, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, they were digging their own mines to get their own coal to go and sell.
Yeah.
But again...
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense, right?
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I've had the opportunity to go up to Sarnia and work in the mines, and I can't do it. There's no way you're getting me underground. No. It's terrifying.
I almost freaked out when I went on that tour, and that's like one of the safest things you could do. But I mean, there's a couple places where and I'm a short person. I had to bend down at the waist to walk through. That's how short the mines were.
Well, that's it though, right? They're not going to do tours in a mine that's not shored up or one that they think is like geologically unsafe. They're going to make sure that you're safe at least, but people opening up derelict and abandoned mines, like, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, and the picture I'm looking at, literally, there's no supports on the side of the mines, and there's just piles of rocks all around.
Now, again, like, I don't know exactly what the geology of Nova Scotia is. Like, I don't know if it's like granite or whatever it might be. So I don't know how stable it is, but if they're digging out coal, I can't imagine that the ground would be that stable.
My worry is this. Now, what do we do? If they get trapped in there, say there's a cave-in, they're not dead immediately, but they're trapped in there. Now we have to waste resources and possibly our first responders' lives to go in and get them,
How the hell are you going to know?
Being silly. Well, maybe they left somebody on the outside. I don't know how they'll know. But yeah, you're basically probably just going to disappear down there and never be seen again.
Right? Like, there's no way you're going to get cell service like in a mile into the ground.
Hell no. Yeah.
Right? I've heard so many dumb things.
Sister Patty reminded me in the chat, live chat, about the couple who thought the phone book would stop the bullet. Remember that happened like last month or the month before?
Oh, what an idiot!
And now she's up for possible, some sort of second-degree manslaughter. I don't know what it's.
Yeah. Oh, it'd have to be manslaughter. You killed a person.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Like, people, stop doing it. If you want to play a prank, whatever, or you want to have I can't stand most YouTubers, to be honest, because I don't find them that original or funny.
No.
I know they have millions of followers in some cases. The only thing I regularly follow on YouTube is Most Popular Girls in School, which is a Barbie's living. I can't even explain it. It's just like Barbies that curse and swear a lot. And and I watched The Last Harpy, which is like a Game of Thrones kind of.
Like a rip-off kind of deal?
No, it's the guy comes up with like theories of stuff that he thinks is going to happen.
Oh, right.
He's read the books, and he's he's pretty well schooled. So I just watched that. It's not a lot of spoilers.
Yeah. See, but even that, though, like as a book reader myself, and I've been reading these books for a long time, it's unfair for us to kind of think about what's going to happen in the show, because they've went two complete different directions.
Absolutely. And that's what he says. He's like, look, this may never happen because they haven't addressed it on the show.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Or they'll say things like, we have a little more insight into this character because of, conversations that occurred in the book. But
I'll have to check them.
That's why I like it. Yeah. It's called The Last Harpy, and he actually has some really well-made videos that I like. So if you like Game of Thrones and you like a little bit of speculation, check him out. And also, don't do stupid things for YouTube hits, okay? Because it's not worth dying for.
I mean, I can't really say much against it because I used to do dumb shit. I mean, way before fucking YouTube was a thing. I knew friends that did dumb shit way before you. Like, it's kind of part of who we are, especially when we're young.
But we do dumb shit when we're young because we think it's just funny or we don't realize how dumb it is.
Exactly that, right? Like, when you're a teenager, you don't understand how fragile you are. You really do not understand the fragility of life, like how easy it is to go lights out, done, like over.
Yeah.
I remember, so there's a ravine just down behind my house, right? The Durham Trail there. Pretty place. I walk my dog down there all the time. And I was maybe 12 or 13. Me and a buddy are hanging out down there. And I see these two kids I know carrying a propane tank. And we're like, what are you guys doing with this propane tank? They're like, oh, we're going to go blow it up. I was like, all right, boys, have fun. Like, I want no part of this shit. So about like 20, 30 minutes go by and we just hear this loud boom. So we're pissing ourselves laughing, going, fuck, they did it. The dumb fucks, they did it. They come walking out of the woods. All their hair's gone, eyebrows gone, faces are fucking charred black.
Oh, my God.
We're like, what did you guys do? They put it under a tree. They climb a tree with this big, huge fucking rock, and they just drop this rock on this propane tank. And again, no YouTube. Like, this would have been...
They're like a cartoon come to life.
Yeah, no, really. It kind of really was like a fucking Looney Tunes kind of thing. But yeah, this would have been like 1998, 1999, so like YouTube was definitely not a thing.
Yeah, they weren't doing it for the YouTube.
No.
Hits. They probably didn't even film it because who had cell cameras back then?
Right? But yeah, that...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids don't do that either.
Well, that too, and you also have to think, I was talking to Liz about this a little while ago, like, my generation, like, I classify us as the jackass generation. We were all so heavily influenced by Jackass and CKY that like we were all kind of really into hurting ourselves doing stupid shit.
That's true. You know what? You're right. Your generation exactly, because that was kind of its
that was our
target
thing.
audience.
Yeah, like
too.
Right when CKY came out. I mean, again, it was in 1999, maybe 2000. This was before Jackass, and I mean that's right when I was getting into my own like teenage years. Yeah. You know, going out and exploring the world by myself, being able to do, dumb stuff with no supervision. Because, yeah, I got stories upon stories of that kind of stuff, but some of it's criminal, and I don't want to put anybody on fucking blast.
No incrimination. We're nothing like that.
I think it was our first Wednesday show, and I was talking about that Coke can incident, and my buddy throwing the Coke can at the guy. Now, lo and behold, did my buddy not get a hold of me the other day, fucking laughing his ass off, going, hey, that was me. I'm like, yeah, it was.
Well, thanks for listening, buddy.
Yeah.
We shall remain nameless, but thanks for listening and supporting us.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Like, don't do stuff that's going to kill you. That's what I'm going to say. I know you're not thinking when you're a kid. These guys, I think, might be a little older.
Yeah.
No amount of YouTube hits is going to be worth dying a horrible, suffocating death if you die in a mine. Whatever. Let's move on.
I seen something today, and I haven't been able to find any information on it. I mean, it was right as I woke up, so I wasn't really in the mood to read, but something called the Blue Whale Challenge. Apparently 12 kids have killed themselves over this.
Marley told me about this. Yeah. So that's she said when that girl, remember the girl climbed the crane in Toronto?
Yeah.
And Marley said that's one of the things that you have to do on Blue Whale.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she told me about it. It was the first time I heard about it. And it's a thing. So you contact this guy, and he gives you a challenge every day.
Okay.
And leading up until the last challenge is you kill yourself.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, Louise. Marley's like, those people are stupid. I'm like, tell me you're not following this. She's like, no, Mom, I'm not doing it. Because of course I get paranoid, right?
Well,
how do you even know about this, right? But yeah, it's. I mean, kids are so impressionable. They always have been. It's not just now. Kids have always been so impressionable. But like, to lead to your death. Yeah, I was reading an article about a young girl who was an artist, and she a lot of her artwork leading up to it had blue whales and stuff, and her family didn't realize what it was about, but she was definitely making it known that she was doing this stuff.
That's fucked. Like, that's so messed up.
One of her pictures is she's sitting on the roof of her house. You can see her feet and the car's below, and her parents are down there.
Huh.
They don't know she's up there. Like, it's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, even as a young person, you should know that taking your own life is not worth it.
No.
Like, especially for over some fucking random internet challenge with some fucking stranger telling you to do shit. Like, show me the proof of this asshole that's fucking telling you to do it, doing any of this fucking stuff.
It's crazy. You know, when I was a kid, I was still believed in God. I was worried I would end up in hell. So I was definitely never going to kill myself over that. I mean, maybe because I've never been, touch wood, depressed or in that mindset. And I mean, I didn't have the greatest life growing up, but I never wanted to kill myself.
It's, I don't know, it's messed up.
You know, it's sad. Kids, don't do this stuff. I say it all the time, they're not going to listen. What kids are listening to us? But if you're a kid and you're listening, if you're a kid and you're listening, don't do this stuff. Don't go to the internet with this stuff. Go to your family, go to your teachers, go to a guidance counselor, go to a friend, a parent's friend, somebody you feel you can trust, and talk to them, because the internet is never going to help you. They're only going to fuck around with you.
Well, it's just like, how bad are parents failing when their kids don't know not to take fucking random instructions from random strangers on the internet?
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily failing. You know what kids are like. Did you listen to your parents? You probably, by the time you got to 13, 14, you probably figured your parents were full of shit, right?
No, you're correct on that. But at the same point in time, they definitely instilled that, you know, these people are dumb and they don't want what's best for you. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like it's an absolute fucking like failure on parents' behalf, but at the same point in time, like, where did you go wrong where your kid now believes that it should listen to some, right?
But you see these people that are on Tumblr, they've got the anorexia, bulimia groups, you've got the self-harming groups. It's like they kind of feed into each other, and I think you have that idea and you go there, and then you just
Tumblr is,
by talking about it with them, they kind of suck you in and make it more and more and more.
Well, and
you know what I mean?
Tumblr's all about acceptance, accepting everybody for everything. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept fucking meth addicts. Because that's a big thing. I had to get off Tumblr a little while ago. Like, I honestly thought Tumblr was just for porn. I really did. Like, for years, I was just like, oh, shit, free porn. Woo! And then I find out all this other bullshit's happening, and I was like, no, fuck this shit. Like, I am out. Like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Maybe it's my age, or I never really spent much time on it because I didn't understand it. And I just was like, I give up.
Well, I just start clicking on tags, and, you know, kind of same thing we were saying with the YouTube, how you kind of just go down the rabbit hole. And then all of a sudden I'm on this, I can't remember what they called it, like ageist or whatever, where it's like people literally advocating for pedophilia. And that was the last fucking straw for me. That's what I was like, no, fuck you. I'm done with this shit. Like, I'm for the rest of it. If you're a big person and you want to feel beautiful, fucking do it. Don't give a shit. If you're tranny or transgendered and you like, cool, fucking cool, go for it. When you're talking about, no, I'm a 36-year-old man and I should have the right to date an 11-year-old boy. No, fuck you. I'm out. See you later.
You're a fucking criminal.
Yeah.
And you're
like, it's a good thing you're anonymous on the internet because I'd report you to the fucking police. But
exactly.
Fuck that place. Like, fuck Tumblr.
Okay, so the census. We all did the census last year. Did you get the long one or the short one?
I honestly can't remember.
Okay, I got the short one. I was kind of disappointed, but so the census stuff is supposed to be released now. It's coming out. So today, Statistics Canada is going to say that couples in Canada, for the first time ever, more couples are choosing not to get married than to get married. Now, I know you're in a similar situation with Liz. You call her your wife, but you're not legally married. You guys have actively decided not to get married, right? Yeah, I think it's kind of good. I mean, unless you really want to have, I think if you have kids, in my opinion, it's it's better to be married, but you don't have to be married. I don't judge people that have kids and are not married. I know lots of people that have kids and are not married.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you need it for, really, other than if you don't want to make your kids bastards, right?
But again, that just comes to a religious connotation, and being someone that doesn't believe in any religion, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
For me, it's a pointless fucking ritual nowadays. It's dumb. Like even the symbol of the ring, I kind of understand it. It does tell the rest of the world that you're off limits, but at the same point in time, your actions should also tell the world you're off fucking limits. You know.
Look, my husband can't wear his ring. He works for as an electrician, and it's a dangerous job. He can't wear his ring on site. He wore his ring every day up until he got that job, and I never wear my ring. I hate wearing jewelry. I don't even wear earrings.
Yeah.
And I don't like to wear jewelry. I get why people want to be married. I got married. I said to my husband, we were engaged for 5 years before we got married. And I said, look, just so you know, this is not me trying to rush you, because I'm not into that. If we have kids and you want them to have your last name, we're going to have to be married, because otherwise they're going to be my kids. Right. Yeah. And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, just so you know. But I don't judge people that have kids. I think it's interesting too, that not only are they not getting married as much, they're getting married much later. The average now for a man to get married in Canada is 33.4 years, and a woman 31.9. That's a rise of over 8.5% for women since 1971. Years. So, I mean, women were, 22, 23, 24 getting married in 1971, and
it makes sense though, because like nowadays we're all a little more headstrong. We all know a little more about what we want out of life, and we want to achieve that before, settling down, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, and I've had a few people kind of get mad at this explanation over how I define marriage, but marriage is a ritual that is based off of human ownership.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Right? I do not support the ownership of human beings. Yeah. So I cannot support a ritual that comes from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I think it's different now. It's more of a commitment, but I get what your stance is, because you're right. It did come from a time where a woman really didn't have the right to say, no, I'm not going to marry.
No. All I had to do was give her father 2 pigs and a cow and a little swath of land to farm, and he would give me his daughter, and she was now my property. Now,
and it's still like that in some places.
Yeah, it is. Now, you're absolutely correct. It's not that anymore. But the fact that that's kind of what the ritual is based off of, to me, it just to me it doesn't fly. Now,
and I mean, women want to have their careers set up before they have kids, or not have kids at all. They want to get their careers together. So you're not going to be ready to have a husband and possibly kids at the age of 22. You're just getting out of college or university.
And do you think that maybe the influx of divorce in the 90s that especially my generation would have seen maybe kind of changed our minds a lot on it?
You know what? That's one of the things literally in this article. They're saying that they think that people in the prime marriage age experienced their own parents' separation during the 80s and the 90s, when divorce rates were really high. Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of people. When I got married, I don't know if it's still the same statistic. When I got married in 1999, 99, I had to think about that. 50% of divorces in America marriages were ending in divorce.
Right. It's nuts. So it's almost as if why waste the money? Because we all know weddings are not fucking cheap.
Nope.
To get into essentially what's a legal contract that's going to cost you ridiculous amounts of money to get out of. Me and Liz have had this conversation, and it's not to say that we're planning on leaving one another, but we both know that people's wants and needs and feelings change over time. So there is definitely a possibility that one day down the road we won't be together. Why would we want to enter a lengthy and fucking vicious court battle? Yeah. That's just going to bleed us fucking dry over, something that we could just end amicably.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you're not planning to, I think the kids are where it gets really messy, obviously. Yeah. Kids, or you're super rich and you got 4 or 5 homes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but you can take care of all of that with legal documentation. You don't even it's a little bit more work. You're right, but you can take care of that stuff. It's
you have to be open about talking about that stuff too. If I had a lot of money and I was getting married, or I was marrying somebody with a lot of money, I wouldn't be offended if they came to me with a prenup. I'd be like,
no, not at all.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think only people that are secretly gold diggers are the ones that are offended by a prenup.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you're building your wealth together, it's you know, it's your guys as well. Oh, excuse me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, if you get with somebody who is individually wealthy, then yeah, you have no right to their wealth.
Anything they earned before you came,
exactly.
No, you don't get any of that. Yeah. So, you know, I built, we're not millionaires at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's got hydro money now. Half of that's mine. I supported him when he had nothing.
Well, and like that's the thing, you know, and again, I don't like to give out names, but somebody that's really close to us, I watched their parents. I watched the mother stay in a loveless marriage while the husband was cheating on her constantly, just so she could put in her 25 years to take him to the cleaners.
Oh, jeez.
Right? And like that's another one of those things that kind of just left a real bad taste in my mouth, because like when we were young, and I mean, again, me and Liz have been together since we were 15, so you know we've half our lives this year.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about having kids and getting married, and that was the plan. But as we started to get older, we both kind of looked at each other like, no, fuck this shit. It's meaningless nowadays. Like, it doesn't.
Well, you guys want to travel.
Yeah.
You like traveling. And, you know, at this point in your lives, you guys don't see yourself having kids. And it may always be that way. Who knows? But at this point, that's your plans. What's wrong with that? Travel or do whatever. If you want to get a house one day, you get a house one day.
Most people don't really gripe us about it, but there's a few that, you know, they're always on my case about it. And the funny thing is like the excuses they give me on why I have to have a kid. Oh, you have to pass your last name down. Fuck you, I do. That's stupid. No. This isn't the fucking 1700s. Like, go fuck yourself. That's dumb. Or, oh, well, what about passing your genes on to the next fucking generation? Like, I'm sorry.
Your genes are in your nieces.
Well, I'm not a genetic fucking super specimen. What the fuck do I need to pass my genetics on for? Are you that fucking daft? Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work for me.
Well, we're not base animals, right? We're able to control ourselves, right? We're not motivated only by procreation.
No, and I'm sorry, if more people, and not, it's a horrible thing to say, but not people in the Western world, but if people in the more populated areas of the fucking world would take this stance to go, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have fucking 9 children.
Yeah.
A lot of our problems would be solved.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day about, you know, what's it fucking, just our aid, the aid we give to certain places. What the fuck?
Something bad happened. Yeah, no, I remember when I was in World Issues in the 90s, taking high school World Issues, and he was talking about the cycle.
Yeah.
You know, the cycle, we give them foreign aid, they get food, they're very happy and comfortable in their lives, they have babies.
Yeah.
And then they're starving and the babies die, maybe 1 or 2 live, and then they get the aid again. And
it's just
it's
a repeating thing, you know, like it's a horrible thing to say, and I've gotten into some flack for saying this before, but it's unfortunate. The more money we give to poor places in the world means the more they're going to reproduce, meaning the more money we have to give them.
Yeah. So my thing, and I know we talked about this previously, instead of just giving them money for food or giving them food, we need to like really kind of educate them on how to, you know, I don't know bring in these water things so they have fresh water, teach them how to farm.
Yeah.
I know there's places you can donate goats so that they have a goat on their farm and stuff like that. This is the kind of stuff we need to do and help re-educate and help them learn to survive.
Yeah.
Without.
See, that's what we do for Christmas for our friends. We don't give our friends Christmas gifts. We buy them goats or, you know, a couple pails of water for some place in Africa or India or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic thing. You're really, truly helping someone, right? I mean, we all have stuff. You know, do we need more stuff?
Well, yeah, I need tons more stuff. I mean, I only own 12 guitars. I'd like to beef that up to about 30.
Sorry, I'm looking at you. Are you talking about blonde gourmandise?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. I don't have an 8-ball of Coke or an Uzi. Maybe you do, Arthur.
I had one, but I mean, it was the weekend not too long ago. Yeah, sorry. That one threw me for a loop. That's why I was like, what the fuck?
That's one of our commenters. Yeah, and he's right. He says, or she, I don't know, says most of the money doesn't even reach these places, and that's right. I mean, I remember them talking about how after Live Aid, and there was just tons and tons of food that went moldy on the tarmacs at airports because the corrupt dictators didn't even let that food get out to the people.
That are these guerrilla fucking warlords go and take it all, and you know they're charging these people essentially arms and fucking legs,
literally.
Exactly, right, to get this aid. Like, and again, it's an unfortunate thing, and I know what I'm saying is sentencing a lot of people to death. Yeah. And I know I don't have the right to say that. I don't have the right to tell anybody that you should die for the betterment of everybody else. But at the same point in time, it's kind of fucked up when you really do take a look at the trillions of dollars that have been hemorrhaged into world aid that has not really helped anything. Yeah. When, like you were saying, that money could have been used to educating, to getting like desalinization plants over in the Horn of Africa. Yeah. You know,
building in some irrigation systems so they can get farmland.
Right, teaching them how to fucking rotate a crop so they're not killing.
And stop cutting off freaking birth control because these families need some, and women need some sort of birth control method so that they don't have 9 kids.
Yeah, it's messed up. And again, like I've gotten into a lot of flack for bringing this up with certain people because again, I am sentencing people to death. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's.
Well, you know me, I'm super liberal. I don't want anybody to die. I think we need to give them aid, but I think it needs to be in a different way. Not just put a Band-Aid over a freaking leak in a dam. That's not going to work.
No, absolutely not.
You need to fix it, and they got to start doing it a different way.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this trippy thing you sent me today. I forgot all about it until you sent me it. This what's it?
The man from Torrid?
Torrid,
yeah. Oh, this story. I heard this story a few years back. My buddy was telling me about it, and it fucking blew my mind. Just the thought of it, right? Like, obviously, again, like I was saying, there's no evidence, so I don't know if it's 100% real.
That doesn't ask you. There's no actual evidence from Japan. They never.
I mean, the only evidence is the Border Patrol officers that handled his passport and stuff like that, and the fact that they went and walked this man to a hotel room. But so the story goes.
Tell the story. Yeah.
It was 1954, and this man shows up at the Tokyo airport, and so he's going through customs, whatever, and they open his passport, and his passport's from this country, Torrid. Now, they're suspecting that this guy is some kind of criminal or something like that because, it's obviously got to be a fake passport. There's no country called Torrid on the face of the planet. So they bring this man into secondary and they start questioning him and stuff. And they keep telling him, it's not a real place, it's not a real place. And this guy starts getting real fucking agitated. So they bring out a map and they're like, show us where this country is. So he points to Andorra, which is a country that lies in between France and Spain. And when he looks at it, he gets even more irritated at the fact that it's called Andorra, not Torrid. He goes, no, Torrid's been a country for thousands of years. This is ridiculous, whatever. So they end up bringing this man to a hotel under fucking security to kind of, just gather their fucking thoughts and see what's up. The next morning, buddy's gone. All the shit's gone. Like, everything's gone.
Even the stuff they had in their possession was gone.
Yeah, gone.
Because they didn't just give him back his paperwork. They kept all the paperwork.
Yeah, gone. So, like, again, it's either one of the best kind of, like, creepypastas out there, or it's, one of those unexplained fucking mysteries of the world, because we know there's lots of them. The crazy thing is, though, like, when they're talking about his passport had, I think they said 4 previous stamps from the Tokyo airport.
Yeah, and all over the world, too.
Yeah, it was a used passport. Like, you could tell this was real. Like, it's that one mystery that, to me, like, again...
So, he either was from an alternate dimension or alternate universe, timeline, whatever you want to call it, or these couple of Japanese people are playing a prank. What do they get out of playing the prank, though, is my sort of thing. They didn't get money.
No.
They didn't do TV interviews. They didn't get fame.
Well, unless they're part of
about people playing a prank, what's the motivation? Why? Well,
when I prank somebody, it's to watch the reaction. So unless they were part of the Border Patrol doing this, they wouldn't even have gotten to see the reaction. They wouldn't, you know what I mean? They wouldn't even have been there to get the shits and giggles out of it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I mean, not that people didn't lie and make up things to begin with either. I mean, like, look at the crop circles. They prove that those weren't real for the majority of things. But yeah, it's kind of creepy. I kind of want to believe it.
It's odd, right? It's really weird. And I don't know, like,
the hotel room was like at least 3 stories up. There was no balcony, and there was a guard at the door.
Yeah, exactly. There had been no way for him to have gotten in or out.
Yeah, and even if he did escape, what happened to the papers?
Right? You're telling me he's going to break into an airport? Now, yeah, this was pre 9/11 by about fucking 50 years, but, you know, like, airports still weren't like a place you could just walk in, especially in the secured areas, and just take whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly, especially in, like, let's face it, Japan in 1954
Yeah.
was still pretty, like, tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like lackadaisical, like, you know, you're in some, you know, redneck poke town in Canada or the US. Right?
Yeah, that's the one that's kind of tripped me out a bit. And again, it could just be a really good story. It could just be a very good, convincing story. Because let's face it, it's not like they were going to take pictures of his passport and shit like that.
True.
I mean, they would have if they had more time and the time went on and, you know, Buddy's story never changed and you know what I mean? But the fact that this all took place within like 24 hours, I mean, no one's going to, especially at that point in time, no one's going to think that kind of stuff.
Are there any videos or letters from the Japanese officials swearing to this? Do you know?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah. That'd go a little farther. But yeah, because we don't even know who the border people were or the customs people were.
And that's the thing. Like, that's why it could just be, you know, a really good creepypasta.
Absolutely.
And if that's the case, like, bravo.
It's a good one.
Right? And it wouldn't surprise me because we know the Japanese are fucking great at these, like, scary stories. Like, they're fucking, they're out of this world.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, the other one that I've been kind of hung up on in the last little bit is the 8 Russian hikers in the Dyaltov Pass?
Okay, I've seen a bit about this. I'm not an expert on it by any means. You explain it.
Essentially, the 8 students from they you know, experienced hikers, whatever. They were going to go fucking just hike this mountain for graduation or some bullshit. And yeah, they all ended up dying. I think 2 of them were confirmed to die of hypothermia. The other ones, they don't really understand.
Didn't they like claw their way out of the tents or something?
Out of the tent. The tent was clawed out of, or cut out of, because they were thick canvas tents meant for winter camping, right? So they were cut out of. Most of the hikers were found in like various states of undress. Like you could see bare footprints in the snow. It was weird. It's a weird one, and the thing that really weirded me out is how some of the bodies were irradiated. Like there was radiation on them.
Oh, so do you think that they went crazy from like radiation poisoning or something?
I don't know. Like it's messed up. So the first 2 bodies that were found buried under snow underneath this cedar tree. I think they said about 600 meters away from their tent, where the tent was.
Had it snowed, or did somebody like purposely bury them?
Well, that's the thing. We're talking like Siberia, Russia, right? So
yeah, lots of snow.
Right?
Yeah.
So they were found. It appeared that they just died of hypothermia. You know, nothing really wrong. There were some, you know, cracked bones or whatever. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. But there was one body, this one woman. I would try to pronounce her name, but I butcher Russians' names all the time.
Yeah, some Russian name.
She was missing her eyes, her tongue, parts of her lips. What else? Yeah, her body was irradiated. There was a fragment of her skull surgically removed, and she was found face down in a ravine covered under 4 meters of snow.
Wow, because I was going to say maybe an animal ate it, but 4 meters of snow.
Right, 4 meters of snow, and if an animal is going to eat it, they're not going to go for, I mean, they'll go for your eyes, but they want the organs.
Yeah.
The organs
they don't normally eat lips and stuff.
Right,
yeah,
the organs are full of nutrients. You know, it's actually really good for you. Like, but yeah, it's
and then surgically removed. That's the skull.
Yeah, the part of the skull surgically removed. Like, that's messed up. That's fucked.
That's so weird.
Weird as shit.
What about the other bodies? Anything weird other than?
There's some cracked ribs and stuff like that. They said that it didn't look like it was from blunt force trauma. That what it looked like was from pressure. Like almost as if they were standing behind a jet engine going off, and it just kind of collapsed them.
So, because I was going to say, does it look like there was a avalanche?
No, because it was on a plateau. They weren't on the mountain. They are actually just on the plateau of the mountain there. But yeah, the bodies were all found at different stages, like at different places. They know that the 2 that were found first died first. And they know that because they found a few of the other hikers wearing their clothes. But
Wait, wearing their own clothes or somebody else's
the
clothes?
dead hikers' clothes. So what they're saying is, so when they left the tents, when they fucking, you know, cut their ways out of the tents or whatever, they were all they're sleeping or whatever. So, you know, they're out there in like long johns. Some of them, you know, were able to throw on their sweaters and shit like that. They found evidence of a fire under the cedar tree where the first two were found.
Yeah. Sister Patty says she's familiar with this. She says the tents were not flat.
No, I was looking at pictures of it earlier. The tents were up, but you could definitely see holes where like it was cut from the inside out.
So why cut out if you could just walk out the door?
Some people were speculating that it's, I can't remember the term for it, but when you're hypothermic and you start to get just really fucking hot, strip down, right? So some people were saying that, but, and I mean, hey, that could be it. Like, so, I got on this Wikipedia thing about it, and they were getting real fucking technical about like liters of urine found in them, which I guess is kind of atypical for hypothermia deaths. But again, it's the lady they found, the one with the fucking missing eyeballs, the missing tongue, chunks of her fucking lips missing.
Nobody else looked like that?
No.
Everybody else was
normal? And again, like the radiation wasn't like to the point where, you know, it's like they were fucking working on nuclear bombs or some shit, but they were slightly irradiated, which is weird. I don't know.
Well, you know, not that weird. I mean, who knows what's going on in Siberia, right? Like, really, the Russians could be having all kinds of secret shit going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I only heard about this story a little while ago.
Because of the position of Russia or Siberia.
Yeah.
A lot of like meteorites. What do you call them once they hit the Earth? Meteorites. Yeah. They go there. Maybe they found something from space and.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know that's what a lot of the Reddit community goes off of, that they're, you know, they encountered some kind of extraterrestrial.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say that. I just meant like maybe some, you know, poisonous meteor that.
The Russian government at the time were trying to blame the inhabitants, like the natives or the aboriginals. But apparently that's not how they operate. Like, if anything, they would have found them all beheaded if that was the case.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's just another one of those weird fucking mysteries that kind of, you know, we don't really have answers to, and I don't think we ever will.
Oh, I like those things though. Those, like, to me, those are the ones that make me think, and I'll be like laying tonight. I'll be laying in bed when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and I'll be thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, true enough, and that's not well, especially for me. It's not a good thing. I gotta be on the road early tomorrow.
Creepy. Any more kind of weird ones like that you can think of? I'm trying to think.
I mean, obviously, like, there's odd disappearances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just look at Alaska. How many people go fucking disappeared in Alaska all the fucking time? Like, it's nuts.
But I mean, that's huge. Do you think that's just like maybe a bear ate them, or they just fell off a cliff, or
for the most part,
or depressed and off themselves somewhere?
Well, that's definitely a possibility. But with most bear attacks, as far as I know, like, there's always some evidence found. Hey, you always find a rib cage or a femur bone or skull, something, you know. I don't know, that movie, The Fourth Kind, kind of tripped me out.
Oh, it's been a while since I saw. That's the one
with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it could just be Bigfoot. Bigfoot could just be kidnapping people, taking them as sex slaves, putting them in shipping containers and fucking send them off to like Taiwan or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Running the sex slave human trafficking industry. I'm like picturing with a Bluetooth and just like
gold chain, fucking calling everyone.
Transfer that money into my Cayman bank accounts.
It's under Sam Squatch. Fuck. But yeah, no, most of the ones that really trip me out are the ones with like missing people. That's where I always get a little weirded out. There was one that I was watching a YouTube video this morning when I woke up about this woman who went on a hike somewhere in BC with her buddy, and they're at some outlook. I think it was called like Bear Lake or Bear Outlook or some shit like that. And it's not a very densely wooded area. You know, it's fairly sparsely forested, all on shale rock. So there's nowhere really for her to hide. So Buddy's at the outlook. She's like, all right, well, I'm going to head back. He's like, all right, I just want to take this last picture or whatever. She starts walking. He hears the footsteps. He takes a picture. He turns around. She's gone.
Oh, freaky.
Gone. And like, this woman was from BC, you know what I mean? So she understands the woods and all that kind of stuff. Gone. Just disappeared. No fucking trace of her found at all. Right? It's kind of odd.
Maybe he killed her. Do you think he killed her?
Hey, there's always that possibility, right? To me,
That's, yeah, I mean, I have to go first to the logical.
No, absolutely, right? For me, the logical explanation was like a mountain lion. Mountain lion took her, fucking drug her ass up a tree, done, see you later.
Yeah.
Came, broke
but they would have
neck.
found something, no?
But that's my thing, right? With most animal attacks, you do find.
Because I'm assuming
evidence.
they sent out a search party and they would have found something.
Yeah, nothing.
And I mean, I would assume dogs came out and sniffed, and the dogs would have at least found something.
Well, I don't know. I had to turn it off. We were starting the show.
Oh, let us know next time in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are the things I like to watch.
I like those too, and I like kind of like the old timey stuff. You know, like it's not so much a mystery, but like the thing where they would bury the people in the coffins, and then like later when they'd find the fingernails on the inside of the coffins because the people weren't really dead.
Yeah. So they had
like
to start burying them with like fucking bells.
Bells, yeah, that sort of thing.
Man, we were dumb 100 years ago.
Well, I mean, you know, you don't know when someone's dead. You didn't have modern day technology, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just based off superstition, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like
that's why people are afraid of vampires and stuff.
Yeah. But obviously, like, you know, there's the famous mysteries. Amelia Earhart, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, that one. Yeah. I think that one obviously has a logical explanation. She crashed somewhere, either died hit in the water, or, you know, she hit some island.
For a bit on an island.
Right, survived for a bit until starvation took her. Or maybe dysentery, since that's a fucking thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, who knows if there was even any clean water. Right. She could have got a bacterial. You know, you see these people go on Survivor and they get all kinds of weird intestinal and gut bacteria that, you know.
You know what's one thing that's been fucking freaking me out, and it's not a mystery or nothing like that. It's just something I only recently found out. Have you ever heard of North Sentinelese Island? It's off the east coast of India.
I don't think so.
It's got a population of people that have never actually been contacted by the modern world, because every time we try, they end up fucking murdering us.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. You should check it out. North Sentinelese Island. So what was it? There was a National Geographic helicopter tried to observe these people, and they came out of the woods and started fucking rifling arrows at them.
Jeez, so they live like
oh, they're straight primitive, like what you would think of, like when you think like of a civilization that was just coming around about 2,000, 3,000 years ago, and their little like straw huts and stuff. Yeah, it's actually really fucking cool. So the government of India has now put a 3-mile exclusion zone around this island because
isn't it crazy that still exists in this? It's the same with like some of the Amazon tribes that still exists in this day and age, in this world, our global world. You know?
Yeah, it's messed up, and like that's kind of what I got the feeling of, because there was a few years back I remember a missionary or something went and contacted a tribe somewhere in Mexico or somewhere in Central America that has never been contacted by the modern world, and you know it went okay, like they didn't get murdered, but like so a fishing boat sometime in the early 2000s shipwrecked there. And then they found
on this north
on North Sentinelese. Patty asked me to spell it. I don't know how to spell it.
Google it, Patty.
It's Sentinel with an S and then E's. But yeah, so they ended up finding these fishermen's bodies with their throats slit, and they were just riddled with arrow holes. Another.
At least they didn't cook them and eat them.
Well, that's what they were saying. They're like, these people aren't cannibals. They're not like that, you know. So obviously,
they're just defending their territory from these newcomers.
The island's huge. Like the island looked fairly large, so they should definitely have the resources. But yeah, there was another story where a cargo ship or something like that, a small vessel carrying goods, shipwrecked just off the coast, and salvagers went there and got into a huge fucking like gunfight with these fucking people, because the moment they heard the boat, they all came streaming out the fucking jungle, just rifling arrows at these fucking people. It's cool. It's kind of been a fixation of my mind for the last little bit once I found out about it.
Oh, is it this one, North Sentinel Island in the Bay of Bengal?
Yep, that's exactly it. So Sentinel. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Sentinel Island. Yeah, that's okay.
The Sentinelese, I guess, are the people.
Yes, that's it. I'm looking. It's home to the Sentinelese. Yeah.
It's really cool. Like it's again, my mind's just been kind of fixated on it. It's a mystery, but it's like a very understandable one. You know.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's just one small island off a chain of islands.
Yeah, one tiny little island.
And they just don't travel off their island, obviously, either.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was really cool. Very interesting.
That is. I'll be reading that as soon as this show ends.
Yeah, and the fact that like the Indian government is just cool with them not joining the modern world. Like I kind of respect that.
Yeah.
Right?
Why force them?
Right?
They're living their lives and they're just, they're happy that way. Obviously, they're happy that way.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. Like it's and I mean again, like with people getting murdered, like I don't blame them for not wanting to have to fucking deal with it.
Stop sending people there. You don't need to send officials there.
Yeah. But the one thing I was reading, they're saying like at one time the island might have had a population between like 10, maybe 20,000 of them even.
Wow.
But the tsunami would have covered the entire island in water. So they're thinking like, the population.
Oh, the 2004 tsunami or whatever that was?
So they're thinking the population like really, really dwindled. So that might be why in the recent years they've been very, very aggressive to people.
Yeah, more hostile.
Because like that's it. Let's face it. If they don't understand the modern world, they don't understand weather. So they're thinking it's some kind of fucking like, wrath of God. And if they've never seen a helicopter, what are they going to think that helicopter is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
wow, that's kind of fascinating. I love that stuff can still be happening. It's like like the animals in the ocean and stuff.
Yeah,
this is still happening in our planet.
Well, I remember I got baked and I was talking Bigfoot shit with my buddy, and he kept going off. He's like, "Man, we've seen the entire world. There's no way there's nowhere that's unexplored." I'm like, "You're a fucking dummy." Like, if you honestly think that the entire world has had human feet stepped on it, you're fucking stupid. This earth.
No, even just look at the Canada, just Canada alone.
Right.
There's far too much land up north that's completely unable to get to without a plane or a helicopter.
Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's some giant fucking monkey living
out in the woods. I don't know.
You
don't know that there's not.
But you can't tell me that you honestly believe that every single square inch of this planet has been seen by humans. And his argument was, well, we have maps. But like, really, bud? Like, you're gonna go?
Do you think that somebody stepped foot on every piece of the land to make the map? No, they just go along the outside.
Exactly. You're dumb.
That's how they did in the old days. They went along the outside of the maps and then guesstimated the insides.
And it's kind of like he had the same argument about the ocean. He's like, well, then how do we know what the ocean floor looks like if we've never been to the whole thing?
Well, we don't know what the whole ocean floor looks like.
Well, we have a very good understanding of the topographical because of the Challenger, the HMS Challenger back in the 1800s, did a huge grid with a rope and a weight.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we found the Marianas Trench and the Challenger Deep. They just went around with miles of rope and a big giant fucking weight. And when the rope stopped moving, they're like, okay, this is how deep it is. And they'd move a couple miles away and they'd drop the fucking rope and the weight. Like, okay, this is how deep it is.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, I think people's.
Well, we have satellites up in the sky that can
Well, exactly.
tell us a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that somebody stepped foot there on the land.
No, it's. Oh yeah, he really pissed me off with that one. Like I don't know if he was doing it just to get under my fucking skin because like obviously I kind of wear that stuff on my fucking sleeve. Like I hate when people come at me with like from a level of like real fucking stupidity. I just can't hold it back. Like I get so fucking heated.
Well, especially that kind of stupidity.
Well, exactly.
Like,
I was trying.
Why do we have maps?
Yeah. Though. Well, how was it mapped if we haven't been there? Like, fuck, you're dumb. Like, fuck, you're dumb. Like, that's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. How do we have maps if we've never been there?
Oh, I like to egg on my husband and makes him really mad. This is my little theory. And I know it's not true, but it makes him mad because he loves math. So I'll be like, Scott, math is not possible. I broke math. I'm like, how can you have 6 apples and times them by nothing and have nothing? You still have 6 apples. And he's like, no, right? But I'm like, no, but what happened to the 6 apples that were in my hand? He's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And he gets so angry when I do that. He gets really angry. But I love doing it. Every couple of years I bring it up.
Well, see, and that's the fun thing. Like, and if that's what my buddy was doing, like if he was just trying to get like, hey, bravo, it worked, Yeah. And I know that's what you're doing with Scott, right? Because obviously that's not how a mathematical equation works.
I do know my times tables.
You know that. So it's just a fun way to piss people off. But I don't think that was his thing. I think he honestly believes that mankind has seen every single square inch of this planet. And no, you're dumb. You're dumb. Like, you're fucking stupid. And I was trying to explain to them that there's places in this province that people have never stepped foot on.
I mean, at least not modern day man. Maybe some native people back in the old days, but definitely not modern man.
Even that, though, like, I find it hard to believe that even the natives would have. But who knows? I wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they usually stuck to their areas. And, you know, the areas in Ontario, they weren't so much a nomadic tribe as like out west, right? So.
But that North Sentinel Island kind of proves my point on that, though. The fact that, like, we haven't seen it all. If there's a fucking island full of an ancient kind of living tribe, then that goes to show you right there that we have not seen it all, that we don't actually understand what's out there.
Yeah.
Right? We're so caught up in our modern fucking bullshit and our modern hubris.
So what you're saying is King Kong could be true.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hope so. Not fucking cool that'd be.
No, don't bring him to the modern world. Let him live on his Skull Island.
Why? They always bring him to, like, New York or fucking LA or some shit. Like, I'd be okay with fucking him, like, taking Lena Dunham to the top of the Empire State Building and fucking squashing her with his fist. I'd be cool with that.
She's about to ruin one of my favorite shows. Okay, so as we've mentioned, the Bitter Knitters are going on vacation.
Yeah.
I'll be gone for 2 weeks at the very least, 2.5 weeks. Yeah. Arthur will be back next week. I don't know what's going to happen. I tried to teach Ryan how to run the show, and he was definitely not interested. Maybe I'll try to teach you, Arthur, before the time comes. But hopefully you guys tune in. If there's no shows, we'll see you in a couple weeks. If not, hopefully you guys listen to Arthur and Ryan on next Wednesday, I guess would be the next show. Are you back by Wednesday?
We should be getting home sometime Tuesday night.
So you might be too tired.
Yeah, I don't know. So
okay, so maybe a week and a half. We'll see. Yeah. Just keep your eye out for the Bitter Knitters updates, and we'll see. Have a great time. Have a good vacation if you're going on vacation, and enjoy. And we'll see you in a little while. Thanks for listening.
Take care.